Obviously, you gave it fight of the night, so you were impressed, but give us your thoughts on that main event.
Yeah, incredible fight. I mean, both guys dug deep, absolute war. Islam is tough as hell and talented, and he ate some big body shots tonight, took that elbow to the forehead, and I thought that Poirier did an unbelievable job of stuffing takedowns and getting up when he was in nasty positions, staying out of that submission in the first round. Just, you couldn't ask more for a main event title fight.
Yeah, you know, I think going into this fight, the talk was maybe, oh, we've seen Dustin in these type of fights before.
Right.
He's going to get taken down, choked out, or something like that.
Well, the big question tonight was, what did he learn from the Khabib fight? I mean, after that fight, he was horrified. He said, I couldn't believe, you know, how I couldn't do anything against him, and he's going in against a protege guy who, you know, fights exactly like him. And obviously, he worked hard on the takedown, defense, and getting back up from the bottom.
And for him to show that sort of heart, right, he's getting taken down, he's been in that position before against Khabib, but to not quit on himself and to keep fighting, you couldn't really ask for more from him tonight.
I agree. And you know, going into this fight, it's he knew what to expect. He knew exactly what to expect, and I'm sure they worked on that a lot in their camp, but you'll have to ask him about that. But he looked great. It was an awesome fight.
Co-main event, Sean Strickland beat Paulo Costa. There was kind of a weird judges' scorecard in that they gave it to Paulo, I think.
It wasn't weird. It was fucking nuts is what it was. It's insane. That guy should never ref a big fight again. They should kick him back down to the minor leagues and let him work on his judging. It's unbelievable. I mean, how anybody who isn't an absolute fucking lunatic could call that fight a split decision. I don't even know what to say about that. It's insane. That guy shouldn't be judging big fights.
What did you think of Sean Strickland's performance? He said he wanted to do more, but Paulo was running away from him and he couldn't engage in him. What did you think of his performance?
Yeah, I mean, it's not the fight I expected. I mean, every time you see Paulo Costa in a fight, it's a war. You know, he usually goes to war. But you could tell tonight he couldn't get off. Brilliant kicking that leg the way he did. Strickland's tough as hell. Was eating those leg kicks, you know, all night. Has he been in here yet?
No.
No? Yeah, I'm wondering how he's walking because, you know, I haven't heard anything, but he did some big damage to that front leg, and, you know, I thought he fought a beautiful, perfect fight. I mean, he's a very awkward guy to fight, and how he throws those teep kicks, and his hands are so good. He's very elusive and beautiful jab, and he basically picked Costa apart and shut him down.
Stand right here. Joe Rogan on the broadcast called Islam the perfect lightweight, and they're just the size, his style of fighting, just his fight IQ. I'm curious, like, where do you rank him in this pantheon of lightweights that we've seen over the years?
Yeah, I think he's, you know, one of the greatest of all time. I think he's incredible. I don't think he's the pound-for-pound best fighter in the world. For anybody to call Islam the pound-for-pound best fighter in the world when Jon Jones is still fucking fighting is nuts and shouldn't be ranking in the pound-for-pound or doing any of the fucking rankings ever, if that's what you really think. Jon Jones has never lost a fight, ever. He's fought all the baddest dudes in the world. And then when you think about what pound-for-pound rankings really mean, he moved it up to heavyweight and destroyed the best guy in the world. As long as Jon Jones is still fighting, active, and in the rankings, yeah, nobody's pound-for-pound best fighter in the world.
Well, to kind of go off of that, Islam said he wanted that second belt. He wanted to go to welterweight. Is that something that, I know you have that welterweight title fight coming up. Is that something maybe you'll discuss with him, or do you want him to stick at lightweight?
I don't know. I mean, he hasn't said anything like that to us, so we'll see. Yeah.
Dan right here.
Yep.
Just to go back to Islam, he's now on a 14-fight winning streak, which is the third longest in history behind Anderson Silva and Usman. What would it take for him to surpass Jon Jones in your mind for that pound-for-pound number one?
I mean, when you think about what pound-for-pound really means, right? He fought Volkanovski, who's a weight class lower than him. Jon Jones beat everybody at light heavyweight, then beat the best heavyweight in the division like it was nothing at a higher weight class.
So, I mean,
Jon Jones is absolutely, positively the pound-for-pound best fighter in the world. Probably the greatest fighter of all time in any sport. When you talk about who's the baddest dude in the world, you put two guys in a room and who walks out, Jon Jones walks out of the fucking room every time. No question about it.
yeah. And in no way trying to diminish Jon's accomplishments, but like, you know, he's fought once in the last however many years. Islam's fighting multiple times a year, defending. So like, at what point does activity outweigh, Jon's?
Beautiful. I like that you asked that question. Let's talk about activity. 3 years off. Nobody, not even Ali. Nobody's ever come from 3 years off and looked the same. Jon Jones walked through the heavyweight, the number one guy in the heavyweight division, like it was nothing, with 3 years off. Yeah, Jon Jones was the best ever. Ever. And when I say ever, I mean in any combat sport. He's the best ever. You throw Jon Jones in a room with anybody, Jon Jones walks out of the room.
John's saying he's fighting Stipe November 9th in New York. Is that fine?
I love it.
Yeah, nothing's official yet, though, obviously.
Yeah, I'm in.
Great. And Donald Trump was here again tonight. I know he's had a very crazy week and everything. Was there any hesitation maybe bringing him for this particular event, given everything that happened in the past few days?
Any hesitation for him to do what? Come?
Yeah, just make this type of public appearance.
I don't know. How do you think it went tonight?
It seemed like the crowd loved him.
Yeah, probably a good idea to show up tonight.
And one more. Next month, the Hall of Fame is happening. Anderson Silva versus Chael Sonnen will go in there, and they're doing a boxing match like 12 days before that. Are you expecting them to both be in attendance after they do that boxing match?
Say that to me again. Who's boxing?
Anderson Silva and Chael Sonnen are doing a boxing match in Brazil 12 days before their Hall of Fame induction.
That's crazy. I didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
No, I had no idea.
Who do you think wins? First reaction?
Boxing? I would have to go with Anderson Silva on the boxing match, yeah.
Yeah. Apparently, Anderson wanted to do MMA and Chael wanted to do boxing.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay. He wants what?
He wants to box Jorge Masvidal after Anderson Silva. Yeah. Speaking of boxing, Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul is delayed. I know you're close with Mike. I guess, are you happy that they're looking out for his health in that instance? And do you even think it should be rescheduled, period, given this ulcer flare-up?
100%. Yeah, obviously I know a lot about it, but I'm not going to talk about it publicly. Yeah, yeah. For the first time probably ever in my life, I have no comment on something. That's Mike's world, and he gets pissed at me every time I talk about that stuff. Good for him, and they'll figure it out.
And for Paulo, on the broadcast, Joe Rogan said he feels that Paulo hasn't been the same since he lost to Israel, and he maybe have lost a bit of confidence and doesn't fight the way he used to. Do you agree with that assessment, or do you think maybe Paulo's just trying to find different ways to fight?
No, I think that I expected him to come in and turn it into a street fight eventually. Maybe they had my thought process in the first 2 rounds, I was like, okay, they have a game plan that he's sticking to. He's chopping that front leg, trying to get him, and then he's going to turn this into an absolute street fight, and the street fight never came. I think that Strickland was way too unorthodox for him and kept that jab in his face and kept pressure on him basically the same way he did Izzy.
Dana right here. Kind of sticking with the middleweight theme that was tonight. Any progress on the middleweight title fight? Is it Dricus versus Izzy, nearing the finish line, so to speak?
Yeah, we're working. Obviously, when it's done, we'll let you know.